Hi, I'm Paul, and today we're looking at my 5 favourite shoes from the brand On, a relatively new brand in the running market. They've got lots of very exciting and really quite distinctive models. So I'm going to pick my 5 favourites in each category. That's cushioning, support, tempo running, racing, and trail running. So I'm going to pick my 5 favourite models so you can build your own um, rotation of the best 5 On running shoes. But while I'm here, let me please ask you or request that if you've got any comments or questions about On or any other brands, please feel free to comment below. And also, if you could do us a great big favour and click the subscribe button in the bottom right of the video. That will really help us as a channel. We noticed that we've got sometimes 2,000-3,000 views on some of the videos that I've been doing recently, but the subscriber base is, people aren't subscribing. So really help us out. Fire away with the questions. I'm very experienced in the running space. I have been an international athlete for 30 years, been in the running industry for 30 years. So yeah, any questions, do feel free. I will try my best to help with them. So let's dive in and look at my 5 favourite On shoes. First up in the cushioning category is this model, the Cloud Monster 2. Now this one weighs in at 300 grams in the men's, 250 grams in the ladies, and you can see the CloudTec cushioning creates a very soft cushion ride. The clouds vary in the shape and size of the elements, and that varies the amount of cushioning they provide. So you've got a 35mm stack in the heel, 6mm drop, and 29mm in the forefoot. You do have these small guide rails or sidewalls, more correct, to the side of the shoe, and they add a little bit of stability. And you've got an insert in the forefoot of the Helion foam, and that creates a slightly softer, plusher feel in the Cloud Monster 2 as opposed to the Cloud Monster On. As always with all the On models, a very nice, neat fitting upper wraps around the foot very well and holds it very securely. Good rubber coverage. Durability on shoes is really quite good, and there's never really much of a concern for myself. Now, if you're going to pick up the speed a little bit in terms of your daily miles, the Cloud Monster Hyper would be the one to do that in. Now, this is essentially very similar to the Cloud Monster, but it's a much lighter version. This is 265 grams in the men's compared to the Cloud Monster 2, which is 300 grams. It's a neutral shoe, max level cushioning, ramps it up to 37.5mm in the heel, 6mm drop again. The main feature here is this additional stack of the Helion HF Hyperfoam in the forefoot. So you've got less space in the CloudTec modules, more of that foam. It creates a smoother and much more responsive feeling shoe. I think it's a shoe that's very similar to the Asics Super Blast 2. Very thin upper, keeps the weight down. It is really a very fast moving shoe. When it comes to support, On as a brand don't really categorize their shoes as support or stability models, but the Cloud Runner 2 is the most stable shoe that they do. It still has the CloudTec foam, it's still the Helion foam that creates the CloudTecs, but you've got this clip around the heel that cups the heel and provides additional stability. It's really quite effective. The midsole does flare a little bit, and the upper is essentially a little bit stronger. It hugs the foot, really wraps around the foot, and that contributes a lot to the support of this shoe. It's still a nice lightweight daily trainer, 277 grams in the men's, 230 in the ladies, and a 35mm stack with a 10mm drop. So it's much more traditionally styled in terms of geometry, but that plastic heel counter does add a little bit of stability if that is what you require. Now, for trail running, On has as many options nearly as they have on road shoes. And as always the case with trail running, it's horses for courses. It depends where you go, whether you require larger studs for very muddy ground, or traction that's going to provide a good grip on wet or rocky surfaces. This model for me is a nice smooth all-rounder. It's the Cloud Surfer Trail. It uses the CloudTec phase cushioning. You've still got the familiar cloud bubbles, shall we call them, within the sole, but in this shoe they kind of look like toppling dominoes, and that creates a very smooth riding feel through the shoe as you progress along the ground. The outsole, you've got about 3mm lugs there, so it's great for gravel paths, forest trails and fire roads. But overall, you could classify this shoe as a road shoe that's been trailified. Rubberized bits on the upper, more traction on the outsole, nice strong supportive overall feel and fit to the shoe. So a good all-rounder trail shoe. And perhaps the most visually striking running shoe on the market right now from any brand is this, the new Cloudboom Strike LS. The LS in the name refers to the light spray upper. So this is a very fine filament yarn. It's about a kilometre and a half long, and it's created by a robot spraying it onto a last and creates a kind of rubberized, stretchy fitting upper. It's surprisingly well fitting. It really hugs the foot. Can be a little tricky to slide in there at first, but it fits beautifully. And the performance of the shoe, well, I did a couple of Ks jogging it, and then I was confident enough in its ability to do a 10-mile road race, so pretty much straight out the box. Fit and feel superb. The responsiveness from the Helion HF foam, dual layers, a little bit softer on the top layer, full length carbon fiber Speedboard, light, responsive, just a phenomenal shoe. It really has to be tried and seen to be believed. This one for mine was actually sprayed, that's what they call the process, by the manufacturing robot in Paris at the Olympics, and I actually saw them being made there. But yeah, an amazing shoe. That's the Cloudboom Strike LS.